Hey there, welcome back. Okay, today I am doing step 2 of how I start my edible landscape, because you can't plant plants or seeds directly into that mulch. But I'm going to use my compost that I make myself. You can use store-bought compost if you don't make your own compost. Laying them all out so that I can kind of see, it's kind of like moving the couch around in the living room. And that's what I like about having the potted plants. But here's what I like about doing the seeds. When you have your brand new mulch like this, you're just going to dig kind of a trough, because I want to leave room for the spinach and the lettuce, and I want to leave room to step. So I will probably be moving in some stepping stones depending on the placement of where I put these blueberry plants, because I have to go pick them, right? And I want to be able to get to that apple tree so that I can pick the apples. I want to be able to get in here to pick my garlic and my sweet peas that are on this trellis, and maybe harvest some thyme, probably pick some of these salvia flowers, harvest some of this oregano. So I need to be able to get in and out of here. So I want to leave myself some space to be able to step and still utilize as much of the space as possible. So I'm going to put these big things in first, and then I'm going to plant my seeds, and I'll show how to plant the plants in there and how to plant the seeds. Okay, it's really not such a big mystery. Just going to pull this mulch back. I laid this mulch on pretty thick. Oh, still going. Still going. Really thick. This is for the plants, not the seeds. Okay, I'm down to where I hit the grass, and a lot of this mulch has settled. This again is like step 1 of my no-dig method into an edible landscape. Just lay that mulch right on the ground. Okay, so I'm seeing what used to be grass. All right, I'm just going to put a little bit of this down in the bottom. And then I am going to just kind of release this root ball a little bit, to let it know, hey, you're out of the container. You can spread out a little bit. Have to trim that little branch off. Now, it needs a pretty good wall around here of some compost. We'll water all this in real good when we do put everything else in. Okay, on to the next one. Okay, on this one, I'm only gonna I'm not gonna go all the way down to the grass. I just needed that much depth on the blueberries because of how big that pot was. But for this lavender, I'm only gonna go as deep as that that pot was. But I am going to put some compost down there in the bottom. This lavender is actually going to love this because they don't like having their feet wet. Gonna let those roots know there's more room to spread out. Give it a little bit of compost in the bottom. And on the sides, around the sides, those big sticks are fine, but if you want, you can just throw those out. Like I said, this mulch is going to compost in place. So wherever I add the compost, those little microorganisms are just going to speed that process up a lot. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and just plant up the rest of this, and I'll meet you back here in a minute. That is it. Look who I found. That is a big one. A friend of mine and I actually have a friendly competition going to see who has the biggest, who can find the biggest earthworm this year. There's my proof. Okay, now, so the open spots that I see, I'm gonna go grab some of my stepping stones and just, I'm not gonna bury them right now, but I'll just put them where I think I'll be stepping. And a lot of times I'm wrong about that and I have to move them, but that's okay. But for right now, I'll have some stepping stones in there, and then I'll decide where I'm going to put my spinach and lettuce. I thought I was gonna do a curvy thing, but now I think I've kind of changed my mind. I'm not sure yet. Okay, the reason these stepping stones are important to me, right now there's not a lot of life in the soil because it hasn't really decomposed yet. It hasn't composted in place. But later, I'm gonna wanna step on that soil just as little as possible. So I don't want to compact the soil whenever I have to get to wherever I am. Like I said, especially when I plant a tree or something I'm going to harvest from, it's really easy to just go ahead and pull that mulch back and put those stepping stones in at this point, because it hasn't turned into soil yet, but it will turn into soil. But right now it's super easy to. Okay, so let's just say I wanted to plant my spinach right in here, or my lettuce right in here. Then I would basically, I'm just going to take a trowel and I'm going to pull back that mulch. I'm going to put the compost in the trough or in a bowl or in a row, however you want to do it for your yard, because beauty truly is in the eye of the beholder. And I'm just kind of like painting a canvas right here that I get to change, or that changes all the time, or stays the same depending on if it's an annual or perennial. But whatever I put in here, if I could do it as an arc, like kind of around this, or I could do a wavy pattern through all that stuff I just did, or I could just do a patch. I could do rows, however I want to do it. Feels like it's about to rain, so I really want to get these seeds in the ground before it does. I think I'm just going to do this same thing on the other side. thing that's really, really cool about this is we have oregano here, that's a fumigant, oregano there, and we have lavender right here. And right behind you is flowers. There's horseradish, which is a fumigant. We have a lot of flowers that just haven't bloomed yet. So this is like a great combination. So I am just going to spread this seed, and because this is lettuce seed, I'm not even going to really, because it's so tiny. This one is the black-seeded Simpson. I'm gonna sow that pretty thick. And I'm gonna go ahead and put this mescaline in here, only because of it's such a mix. There's a lot of frilly and colors and textures that is just gonna make it a lot more interesting here in the landscape. I'm gonna go ahead and sow some of this in here as well. Just a little bit less, probably. Okay. It's hard to tell because I threw some of the dark mulch over there, but basically I know where I planted it because there's this dark compost looking stuff. Actually, I think I'm gonna pull this back and do it a little bit more right here off camera. Okay, I'll be doing the same thing around this lavender plant like I did over there. So it's gonna be a little bit symmetrical in that it's, you know, what I have over there, I have over here. So it's mirrored from over there to over here. So I'm gonna do the lettuce right in there. It's the same situation. I have the lavender, the oregano. Here I have thyme. I have a ton of flowers. The thyme is actually starting to flower, if you can see it. I need to cut back some of that dried thyme, but this new thyme is really starting to flower. The bees have been all over it. The salvia is going to be blooming, and probably about the time that I take this lettuce out, all of this oregano is going to be blooming as well. So yeah, I'll have to figure out what else I put in there, if anything, because all of this stuff that I put in is going to get a lot bigger. It seems like it's really kind of spread far apart. I have the lavender, petunias, Dusty Miller petunias, which are all ornamental landscape plants, but the petunias are antifungal. They're also a fumigant for moles and voles. I might pop some potatoes in there, but what I really want to be careful of is around my fruit trees, I don't want any big leaves. So in this area right here, I will not be putting anything like a squash plant or a zucchini plant, but I'm thinking that I might do it over here. So yeah. Okay, so this spinach seed is bigger. So I am gonna make that pretty thick, but I'm not gonna use all of my spinach in this one place. But I plan on harvesting these pretty young. So I'm going to save the rest of this package of seed because this is very clear to see for the birds. I don't want the birds to come along and eat that. So I am going to cover up this bigger seed just so it's doesn't look like bird feed. Before I did this, I did dig a little bit of a pit and I put compost in there. On to the next spot. Okay, so that is how I plant directly into the mulch. I put the compost in first, and then I put either the seeds or the plants. Okay, that'll do it for this one. Be sure to hit that thumbs up and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And if you hit that little bell, it will alert you whenever I put a new video up. All right, bye for now. Y'all stay safe out there.